We begin in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful.
Left on Red, Guided Instead, podcast is brought to you by Azwaja Matchmaking app.
Left on Red.
Got it instead. Assalamu alaikum. My name's Ishan.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mustafa.
And today we're going to be talking about AI, and we have two guests with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Welcome, Islam.
Fawad is my name, Fawad Ahmed. I'm actually very excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, you're welcome.
Sorry?
You're welcome.
Oh, cool.
And we have another guest with us today. We have...
Hi guys, my name is Raza Ali. I'm a fourth year engineering student. Thank you for having me.
All right. So you're pretty important in today's society. So would you like to introduce yourself? Give a full in-depth version of yourself?
An in-depth version, okay. I can just reiterate my LinkedIn profile, maybe. That would be enough. But I kind of feel old because I've been working in the IT industry for, I just say it now, 20 plus years because, the specific years make me feel really old. So it's 20 plus years I've been in the IT industry. I've worked in various geographies, Pakistan, Middle East, and in Canada, West Coast, East Coast. I've worked in aviation industry, oil and gas, telecom. Right now I'm working in public service. I've worked in public service and now I serve public service. So currently I work for Microsoft. So I'm kind of in the middle of why we are here today, right? I'm here, Microsoft is in the middle of whatever revolution AI is bringing in the past 2 to 3 years. So, and I think that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So I feel like today we're going to be talking about AI. So in your life, as you've been working for 20 plus years, in a place that uses AI and different software, how has AI transformed and changed your life in today's society?
Well, two different perspectives, right? So I sell AI to people as well. So that's another way of how things have changed. But even as a technology user, things have changed a lot. You guys don't remember, I come from an era which has seen multiple transitions in how technology has evolved. So, I come from a day and time when floppy disks were around and we had disk operating systems and Windows 3.1 and stuff, right? So internet had just came in mainstream 95, 96, browsers. So everything has changed for us and it changes fairly fast, right? So anybody in my generation, when Google came in with the search engine, that's how we used to search internet. That was revolutionary, right? Everybody would Google it. Even the term Google became coined in terms replacing how you search things, right? So when generative AI, especially when we talk about generative AI, like chat GPTs and Genesis and Copilots, when this came out in the last 2.5 years, I think it changed a lot of behaviors, right? So it's how you search for information. You can actually now talk to the internet pretty much, right? So it's impacting everyone, both positively and somewhat maybe negatively as well. But I think key changes have happened in how people are becoming more productive and efficient while using the AI technology.
So I feel like you have experience and you've seen the whole way through. As a younger member of the youth. No, sorry. Younger
Older.
member. Yeah, older
Older
member
than
of
you,
the youth.
younger than him.
You lived more throughout the time of AI. So has it done anything else to your life?
Certainly made things easier, I guess. I came on the later end of where he left off. I had computers growing up, but we still had floppy for basic storage purposes, and moved on from there. But throughout high school and everything, we just kept to computer use to the minimum. Still was reliant on research for textbook and library. But as I've went through university, high school, it's come more and more. It's become easier. Instead of me going through Google and citing sources, I can ask ChatGPT to give me a summary of multiple sources, cross-check it, and just from a basic prompt, which is really carefully written, I can find all my research in one place instead of me digging around for hours. So from that on, it's gone easier.
Yeah, so I feel like we have like all three of the different perspectives from the start, middle, and then we're at the end, Momo.
Wait. You didn't give your perspective yet.
Yeah, I just said we're in the end. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, okay.
No. I'll
Go,
give my
go, go,
perspective,
go. Yeah,
and you'll
go.
give yours. But I think ours is like around the
ours
same.
is pretty similar.
Yeah.
I already.
So I think like as a youth or like being a teenager in high school, we use ChatGPT for a lot of things. Like let's say you have a test, right? You can use it to study for the test, or you can use it to cheat on the test too.
Yeah, let's say you have an
Let's be
English
honest.
project,
Yeah.
like due the next day. You can go into ChatGPT. Oh, make my English project, and then all you gotta do is write it out.
Oh, I've done that one recently, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Really? For what?
English.
No, like what project in English?
Okay, so
You have to write a poem for us.
for me, you had to make a map.
Never mind.
Make a map of a book. So like I just made it give me the places in the book. So I just wrote
Did
it
you
down.
get caught?
No. See?
Does
So-
your teacher watch your podcast?
Don't know about that one.
Let's
I'll
hope
have to
not.
check on that one.
Well, yeah. So it depends, like what age you are. We all have different uses for it. I have a question for you though. Like, how do you think like being like your age? How do you think you guys use like,
Your
ChatGPT and technology at like your age? What's funny
Your
about it?
age.
Like,
Yeah, it is a different age. It's fine. Yeah, I'm getting
Yeah,
old. I know.
no, you're not old.
Yeah, way to rub it in, Momo.
Okay. But how do you guys use ChatGPT in like everyday life, like AI technology?
I think let's talk about how ChatGPT is going to transform some of the things, right? Especially in areas that are probably more pertinent to an audience that you guys are talking to or yourself, right? You're your age.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest impact is coming on learning and how things are. Like you guys just gave examples of how you do your homework, right? So
Yeah.
for me and for your mom and your dad, it's like it's gonna be a different. It's an adjustment because some of us could think of it as cheating, but I think it's just evolving how you're learning and delivering on what's being asked of you. There was a time when I was your age, I probably remembered phone numbers for my mother, my father, my entire family, and I could just call it from my brain and dial those numbers. I don't think anybody remembers more than 2 or 3 numbers that they can call on. Other than those numbers, you don't remember those. So I think learning is going to evolve. There is how you learn from your teachers is going to evolve. How you deliver on what you learn is going to evolve as well. Guys use Khan Academy.
Yeah.
Used to, yeah.
You guys should get back into it because Khan Academy has just introduced ChatGPT 4, which is a rather modern version of the ChatGPT these days, and it provides you a personalized AI instructor. So it's like a teacher for everyone, available 24/7. It learns how you learn best, and then it's kind of like a personalized tuition, right?
Yeah.
So it teaches you the way you would understand things best. So that's evolving, right? So that's evolving, and a lot of guys and girls your age are going to start using those things, and it solves a lot of problems, right? Like if we are talking about Ontario, you guys probably heard about the teacher to student ratios and how they are short, and if something like an AI tutor can be there for everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to change the way you guys will learn. There's a lot of things that you use AI on. I can probably quiz you on it, and I'm assuming you would know, but let's see. Can I quiz you guys?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. What are some of the things that you think AI is being used by you right now?
Like right now.
Ding ding
Right
ding. Siri.
Siri?
Siri.
Yeah, Siri was, and what's the other one? Alexa, right?
Alexa,
They're like
yes.
among the earlier adoptions of what AI could do, but
Yeah.
they were not proper AI, but they were using some of the AI services to recognize voice and speech and then respond accordingly. What else? You guys have Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have your own profiles on Netflix?
That's what I was just about to say. The recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all comes from AI, right? So the Netflix algorithm of AI
Yeah, the algorithm.
observes what is it that you are watching most, and then it recommends you things that you watch most. And if you also provide a like to the content, it'll gonna recommend you more, even like too much at times.
That happens with social media too.
TikTok.
Yeah.
That's how you get all those reels, right? So it's like, what is it that you stopped on, watched for the entire minute? You're gonna get more of those, right? And then you may need to hide your phones. But so that's another one. What about gaming? Anybody knows anything about gaming?
Recommending games. I don't know.
No.
Even within games, like some of these first-person shooting games and other things, like there are the NPCs.
Oh,
I
skill-based
learned this from
matchmaking.
Hassan just before coming here. NPC is what? Non-playing characters.
Yeah.
Like they would
Bots.
actually help and guide you in the
Easy
game
kills,
to complete
easy
a
kills,
stage,
yeah.
right?
Exactly.
That's all AI. So those are some of the things that you are using right now. It's not very futuristic. It's happening now that you use in daily life for using it. Your mom's robot vacuum, if you guys have one at home, that's all.
I don't.
That's all driven by AI as well.
Yeah. So wait, you're talking about first-person shooters. Would like skill-based matchmaking count as?
Skill-based matchmaking?
Yeah.
Okay, here. If you know,
It's
do you
like-
know what it is?
Sorry,
It's
Do you
like
know what skill-based matchmaking?
if I win a game, it'll
I know
place
it's in a
me.
matrimonial
So
situation.
let's
Yeah, that
say
can work as well.
if, for example, I win a game, it'll
Yeah.
play me
Yeah.
in a match with harder players.
Yeah.
Or if I'm a higher rank in the game, then it'll place me with people in the same rank.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that sort of
Yeah,
things.
that's where AI algorithm would be at use as well. It can do much better recommendations compared to just fixed parameters, as we call it in the tech lingo, right? It's like it's very dynamic. It picks up. It also recognizes the skill level that you have and the
Yeah.
kind of games you would like to do as well. So yeah, it does that as well.
So, spinning back to artificial intelligence on like gaming, like really,
This
it's not-
this
I'm
one
act-
clicked, eh?
I'm
Gaming.
I'm acting like I did just talk about it, but like what I mean is like when like the players are playing against a bot, players can tell if it's a bot though. Like you can't tell if it's a real. You can tell if it's a real player or a bot.
How do you differentiate?
You can tell by their skill level how they
But-
interact.
There's like also different skill levels for bots. There's easy, medium, extreme, hard for bots.
Yeah, but let's
So,
say
like, where are you getting at?
okay, let's say I play a game called Call of Duty, for example. There's tons of bots, but they won't have the same movement as players do.
Yeah.
They move way differently.
Well, it's evolving. It's gonna get fairly real fairly soon, right?
Yeah.
So it's maybe there are times when checks are put in place so that you can actually identify that they're bots. If those checks are removed, you may not be able to identify that they're bots because it's a constant learning mechanism, right? So
Yeah.
it's learning based on how you are interacting with it.
So the question is it like programmed? Is the NPC or like the bot programmed into doing like different things, or does it watch players in game and then copy those movements?
So think of it this way, right? It's sorry, go ahead.
No, do you guys know like the difference between AI and machine learning?
Machine learning is when it like sees something and learns off of it,
Yeah.
and artificial
It's like
intelligence
a feedback
is
loop. It's
what-
constantly learning based off of what it's receiving. So AI depends on machine learning, and that's where the programming comes in. So if you have, it's at its origin, it's programmed to do something.
Yeah.
But as it watches other players, say in the circumstance of your games, how a human behaves,
Mhm.
it'll learn off of that. Like another example is like an old one is like CAPTCHA codes. If you ever use CAPTCHA for like to verify that you're human, well, that was actually a learning module for like Google and all these guys to see how humans react to pressing that button, just so that I can realize over time that a human will do this before instead of just clicking a button, just so we can verify if they were a bot or a human being.
Yeah. So I think it's a good distinction, but the distinction that you're making is between machine learning and generative AI. So the Chat GPT and Genesis and all these recent evolutions that you have seen, like natural language processing capabilities that you see in the game, like chatbots.
Yep.
That's what generative AI is. But machine learning and generative AI are both subsets of what's AI. So artificial intelligence, think of it like artificial intelligence is the big block. Machine learning is,
Yeah.
a sub entity within it, and then there is generative AI within it as well, right? So, another pop quiz. When do you think artificial intelligence came into being, right? What was the, guess an year or a decade when projects on artificial intelligence
So
started?
2007 iPhone came out and iPhone had Siri.
Okay, so
So
2007.
that's the minimum. Then it had to be worked on.
I
for
guess
about
1
a
year or decade. Come on.
Okay. Okay, I'm going 2000.
Okay.
Solid 2000.
I think like maybe even earlier than that, like
1900?
No, 19 like 80s.
Okay.
I would go since the birth of computers itself. I think.
Yeah.
Well, probably after it. So 1956. That's
Yeah,
when.
That's when I would.
Right. So that's when the term artificial intelligence was coined to be given. So that's when the first program came out. So if we go back and go back all from this conversation at a very high level, and if I ask you what is artificial intelligence, how would you define it in a very simplistic way? I'll ask Reza first.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence. It could be.
You actually
Getting-
defined it when you were
Yeah,
talking
getting
about
a.
machine learning.
I think the easiest way is like automation to replicate human tasks.
Okay.
Uh,
So yeah, well, it's as simple as this. It's machine. You're training the machine to behave like a human.
Yeah.
For anything. It could be anything, right? So machine learning is you're training the machine in doing repetitive tasks, things that you would do on a very regular basis that are repeatable. That's where machine learning kind of comes in. What's a great example? You guys, everybody has on their phone those weather apps, right? You
Yeah.
get out of the house, check what the weather is for that day. There's large data behind it. So weather systems and how they monitor it and how predictions come into play, that's all machine learning. So it's a sub branch of artificial intelligence, but the science that is applied there is what machine learning is. It looks at these weather patterns from hundreds of years that are available, and then it predicts what's going to happen next and what's going to be the temperature for tomorrow, whether there's going to be a storm or not, etc.
Yeah.
Whereas your chat GPT and stuff, this is like more recent, right? This is like 2016 and 17. That's when what's his name, Sam, the guy who founded OpenAI, Sam Altman. That's when kind of they started working on, and Bill Gates, who was the founder of Microsoft, he met them. So I'll tell you an interesting story about these two. So he met them, and Bill Gates was a little skeptical about what this technology can do back in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
So Bill Gates asked Sam Altman to develop a model that can replicate somebody giving a grade 11 or a grade 12 math exam. And Bill Gates said, you can use, the Azure cloud, Microsoft data centers, and you can use all the compute power that you need. I'll talk to you guys in a year's time, etc. And I think they did this in less than like 2 months. And they were able to replicate an experience where a person so the AI model would go into a math test of a SAT exam of grade 12 or something, SAT test, and was able to produce results which were like B grade, C grade kind of thing, right? So, and they did this within like 2-3 months time frame. So that's when Microsoft kind of got interested in, this is something that's going to change the future, and then Microsoft invested in there.
Okay, so one thing I heard you say was like, the exam, right? So the first person to ask, like, you said it learns based on, and it keeps getting better and better and better, right? So it was like the first person to try, like, say, could you do my homework? He probably failed, right? And then they kept getting better marks.
So they don't learn based on the models, or let's say ChatGPT. Let's talk about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not learning based on how you will give the exam. Another pop quiz. How do you think ChatGPT operates? Like, where is all the information that it has, that it uses to respond back to any query comes from?
Searches
The internet, yeah.
The internet. So how does it know? Does it know all of the internet? Does it know all of the internet?
Nope.
Yes, it does.
It does.
So it does all. It knows all of the internet to a certain time point, right? If there's a point in time where all the data that was available on internet was consumed by ChatGPT, and it learned from it. So it's like millions and billions of settings that it looked at and data sets that it looked at. And it would have all the data that's incorrect and correct in there. So that's how it's learning. So you will hear, as you will use more and more of AI, you will hear the term training. Training a model, that's how the models are trained. It's trained on data, and models like ChatGPT are trained on the entirety of internet. Every time a new release comes, it's trained on data that's newer, right? So ChatGPT 3 would be trained till 2021, 3.5 till 2022, and etc. So on and so forth.
So where is that information held? Like, does it hold it inside the software? Does it hold it inside the code? Like,
the information remains where it is. So
It's a data
it's,
source,
it's,
like where it's always been.
it's all of internet, the information is spread around, right? It's like if you have do you have a website for your organization?
yeah.
Right, it sits on the internet somewhere, it's on a server somewhere. But if it's public information and anybody can go and access it, so can ChatGPT, right? So it doesn't need to store this information, but when it was getting trained on it, it went through all the information that was available, and now it can collect that information and respond it, based on the question that you are asking. So if you ask ChatGPT today, who was the 51st president of United States? United States doesn't have 51 presidents. I don't know what number Trump is on, but but if there was a website, I recommend, a credible website that stated somebody as the 51st president of United States, it may come back and answer you that. So now it's for you to differentiate whether the answer was correct, whether this is, fake information. And that's where the term apprehension comes into place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to be careful in what you are looking at when you are asking ChatGPT to bring something back. It's for you to filter out whether the information would be correct or not.
Yeah.
So like the question is, right? What if there's multiple answers?
Yeah.
So like, does it give you all three? Does it take the most common one? Does it depend on the situation? Like, how does it register that?
You can ask a question and you can see how it will come back, right? Like, just I think great example is ask ChatGPT who's the 51st president of United States. It may come back and tell you that United States doesn't have 51 presidents, because a large set of data that it has gone through says how many presidents are there with all their names. But if you'll ask something else that has more confusing answers, then it may come back with sourcing you all kind of information, and may say, well, some sources say this and some sources say that.
Well, he's actually doing it right now.
So when you say who's the 51st president, as of May 2025, the United States has 47 presidencies held by 55 individuals. The count includes Grover Cleveland. I'm not reading those.
Yeah, but it will have a little reference on it as well. It will tell you what website it's coming from. So if there's like credible websites, like the government of USA has a website that talks about it, then it's pretty authentic, right?
And it'll real time learn as well. Like, if you make an adjustment or a note saying that it's like, oh, this is wrong, and you give it reasons, it will actually amend that for somebody else who later on asks the same query.
Yeah. So yeah, if you ask it a question, it's for you to decide whether the information it provided is correct or not. It probably will come back and provide you all the information that's available, right? So yeah.
Well, I have a question for you. Let's say AI gets too smart. Do you think they'll eventually take over humans and like take over jobs?
That's the plot for Terminator and Matrix and many other movies. Yeah.
Yeah. You think it's possible?
So, anything is possible. But it's like where we are today, right? So generative AI is. So when you say AI could be very creative, you can ask AI to write your English project, essay, etc.
Yeah.
So you can ask. Was a great example. Somebody, actually, ChatGPT gave me this example before I was coming here. It said, I can do a rap on pizza fairly quickly because I have consumed millions of pizza recipes on internet as well as a lot of rap songs. So it can produce a rap song within seconds about pizza if I ask it. So it's being very creative, right? But does AI itself understand this? So currently AI lacks emotions, feelings like we do, right? It can be creative. It can help you to be creative, but is it creative itself so that it actually comprehends and understands what it's doing? Not yet. That's where we call, if AI becomes sentient, or I think general AI is something that's being used. So that's what the plot of Matrix or Terminator was, is like it evolved so much that it's now intelligent enough that it'll make decisions on its own. It will think on its own. It will start having emotions and feeling, etc. I think this is an area which is definitely being worked on, but I don't think it's near future. But yeah, it can happen. But as it happens with any technology or anything, it's good and bad is how you use it. So how we use it and how many checks, how much. There's a term that we use in professional settings. It's called responsible use of AI. How responsibly humans use it is going to determine the future of it.
So I feel like we've heard a lot from one of our older members of the youth. Could we have a sub?
I think he needs to stop
Hassan,
with the older
could you
member.
please come up here? Yeah, older member of the youth. Yeah.
Sure.
A little bit of forwarding, but yeah. Thank you so much, Hassan.
Thank you guys.
You can stay. One of you guys get over
Hassan.
here. All right, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
My name is Hassan. I just finished my first year at Carleton for engineering physics. Excited for this conversation.
Okay, so Sean, you have anything to ask him?
Did you have a question for him or you just invited him?
Go ahead.
Extra party member. But so has AI affected your life? Because you were there throughout high school and throughout your university at Carleton. You must have used AI on some assignments, some little sly things here and there.
Of course. I was in grade 11, I think, when ChatGPT first started being used everywhere. And I just finished my first year. It's I don't understand how people did university before AI. Just because even engineering-wise, it's so time-consuming how much work is given.
Yeah.
Without AI, I don't think I could have actually finished. I passed all my courses this year. I don't think I would have done it without AI because of the workload. I haven't bought a textbook yet because I don't need it anymore. You can search anything on your ChatGPT or whatever. It's just way more efficient, I think, in my experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old book switch. Yep.
Of course.
Yeah, I think you're also right because it helps with a lot of things. Back a long time ago when people
You're not born a long time ago. What do you mean a long time ago?
It's okay. Not when people
Just to be clear, none of us were born very long time ago.
Yeah.
Anybody here?
For sure.
Max age here, 29.
I like that.
Okay, yeah, but I feel like people have grown to be more lazy. Can't lie. I'm saying this for myself too, though, because back when people didn't use AI, they must have been very not lazy.
They used to be hardworking.
Yeah, but now there's people like Ishan.
Okay.
And me.
All right.
So.
All right.
Yeah, but I think it's better for all of us though, because that's how it works,
Yeah.
What do you mean by lazy?
I don't know, because like you said, it was you didn't understand how people did it,
Yeah, and Momo
I can tell you how we did
ChatGPT
it.
for
I graduated from here.
Oh yeah. God. How did you do
I
it?
agree with you guys.
How'd
You guys
you
are
do it?
lazy.
How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
Yeah, how'd you feel about it though?
Yeah.
Back 2000, I think I graduated in 2000 December. I graduated computer science, Dalhousie University in Halifax. We used to have a library and a library software that would actually randomly check assignments whether anybody has plagiarized or not. So plagiarism is very different now as how you guys do your assignments with AI versus so if we are looking at an article or a piece of code that we are writing, etc., and we are picking it up from internet, Googling it, and then trying to put it in our assignments, the software would look it up and say, well, you have used this code from here. So if we are using anything, we needed to quote it and say we have used it from this particular site or this particular book.
Or change it.
Or we needed to change it at least in a fashion so that it doesn't infringe any copyright issues, right?
That's why
so it was,
AI was
to your point, We had to do a lot more work in
Yeah.
order to get some of that information that was available on internet compared to now when you use Chat GPT, Math GPT. There's a GPT for everything these days, right? So
Yeah. So
So like, no, it's okay. It's okay. You've asked enough questions. So, do you feel like people who haven't used ChatGPT for the education, do you feel like they're more like advanced than the people who have used ChatGPT, or like
what do you think?
No.
No?
It's just efficiency. It's like a farmer lazy because he uses a tractor and he doesn't like manually plow his own field. No, right? He's just using the tools that he has to get more output. Like without AI, I feel like you just memorize a lot more rather than use your logic to work through something.
Yeah. It's
So if you
more
like take that
efficient.
memorization out, I feel like you have more time and energy to go through the actual process of how to complete something.
So, we cannot limit how we will operate. We cannot limit our imagination as to how humanity is going to evolve in the future, right? So there's this guy, I always love to quote him. He is very popular in the science and technology space. His name is Nicholas. Last name is very complex for me and my age to pronounce. Could be controversial, but I think his last name is Negro Ponte. So, so he did this TED talk. It's called the history of future, 30 years history of future. You can look it up on.
Okay.
And this guy made some predictions back in late 70s, early 80s about the GPS as how you use Google Maps and other things, and he kind of did a lot of those experiments. So he's very well respected in that science and technology area. So after his TED talk, they asked him like, what the prediction for future is. So he predicts learning is going to change so drastically that you will actually learn using medication and robots, micro robots. Like if you guys know Iron Man, nanobots.
Yeah.
So you can inject yourself with something and you will learn it, right? So there will be, if you learn French, you can take a pill, it will go in your bloodstream, the nanobots are going to go in your brain, stimulate it, and teach you French by taking 4 pills in 5 days or something, right? And then you will know French. So now take this example and how you were asking the question on how AI is changing and does it make you less intelligent, etc. Now you will learn French or something new in like 4 days or 1 day just by ingesting a medicine. It'll just open up more information and what more you can do, right? So it's going to increase your capability. Everybody would be able to learn more, right? The language would be democratized. It's not that only intelligent people would be able to learn a new language. Anybody can, if that's the case. So I think learning will become more widely available. But maybe we will have more social problems as to who is this information available to, who are these facilities available to. We are privileged to be what we call the first world. Would there become a big difference between, or a big gap between developing countries and underdeveloped countries and developed countries? I think those would be the problems that we are kind of doing, like District 13 or something, right? It's like those kind of problems would start happening. But I think, yeah, when you start using new ways to learn and comprehend something, it's not that you're limiting yourself or you're becoming lazy. It's just that you can now do more, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we should look at things.
Yeah, but I
So
feel
good analogy on the farmer, though.
I
Yeah.
actually agree with that.
that's what I was gonna say.
Ishan, how do you feel?
I feel like using pills in that would be effective, but like also it cause a decline in like occupations. Let's say for example a doctor, he's gone through med school, and then a doctor who's just taking a pill, wouldn't they be at the same level? Then wouldn't everyone take a doctor pill so that they can be rich?
So industrialization, I think what we are in, they call it like, what, are we in phase 4 of industrialization or something like? It's like industrialization ages, right? They always take up old jobs, but they also produce new ones, right? So again, I hate to admit it how old I am, but in my childhood, there were still people who used to distribute water in in those small leather bags.
Yeah.
Because you can't have water everywhere. So they would go to your home, they will fill up, a small container or something for you to consume water or to, wash your clothes, etc. They don't exist anymore, right? That evolved into, when aluminum tanks started to come. So people started to put big tanks on cars, and then they started distributing water through that, and now they have big tankers that they distribute water. And in first world countries, water comes in taps. right? So you don't need to distribute work anyway. So, but it changed professions.
Yeah.
Even in like 2000s, I used to travel a lot for work. You have people, you would, in room service, you'll go to your room, and the last thing I would do is I'll pick up the phone, call the reception, and say, wake me up at 6 a.m. and then also wake me up at 6:15 because I'm probably going to sleep again after answering at 6 a.m. and then wake me up again at 6:25. Now we all do this just using the phone. So there used to be a person who used to wake you up, and if you don't wake up by 6:15 on the phone, he'll come knock on your door to wake you up. So, but I don't think they have those anymore. So you'll lose jobs, but you'll create jobs. So what kind of jobs AI is going to create? What do you guys think?
Prompt engineering.
Yeah, prompt engineering is one. What else?
It'd take over everything. So like
No.
it'd expand most things.
You guys know what
Construction's
prompt
the only
engineering?
thing that's safe.
No clue. I think
And robots are already kind of taking that on.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't create jobs. It would like make people lose jobs. Like, like some like AI.
You guys giving such a pessimistic view, man. Come on. Okay,
No,
yeah,
no,
sure.
AI is good and all, but like I feel like like there's also like they're creating self-driving cars. So people who are like Uber drivers, taxi drivers, all that's gonna be gone because Tesla, they're creating the new car, and it's cheap too, $30,000 just for that.
Yeah.
Self-driving car, and
I-
self-driving trains.
So yeah, so it's gonna make some jobs disappear.
But I
But what kind of jobs it is gonna create?
have no clue.
No clue. You guys know about prompt engineering?
No.
Okay. So I used to be extremely good at searching things up on Google. So as Hassan and Basil were growing up, my sons and my daughter Fatma, if I would ask them to search something on the internet about something that had like vague parameters, like can you look up a movie of Nicolas Cage back in from the 2000s, etc., they would come back empty and they're like, oh, there's nothing on the internet. But if I will search it, I'll probably find it in the first 2-3 spots, right? Because I'll put good parameters in there.
Yeah.
So prompt engineering within AI is that it's now in demand that companies are looking for people who can actually ask the right question to the AI model like ChatGPT. So you know how you ask ChatGPT, it gives you a response. So if you give it really good prompts,
Yeah.
like if you tell it exactly what kind of project or essay you are trying to write, who's the audience for it, and make it look so that it's written by a person who is like 14 years old rather than somebody who's 24-year-old. If you give it all those parameters when you're searching for this information or asking it to do something for you, it's going to give you a more comprehensive result out of that. So providing that prompt is a job called prompt engineering, and a lot of organizations are looking for people who can write good prompts so that AI can understand what you are asking for, and then they provide it back to you.
Yeah. It's
So-
actually like I feel like it'd be very good. It'd also be pretty simple too. So I think it'd be worth it. because-
Yeah, my advice to you guys, like from an age perspective, like looking at the next 5 or 6 years, what we are seeing and what I'm reading from trends and what predictions are coming out, creative people and soft skills, human skills job and physical jobs, trade jobs are going to be something that are not replaceable with AI for another 10-15 years at least, right? Because the mechanics and the robots element of it is still evolving. So like music directors and music creators, like you can use AI to create good music, but AI on its own won't be able to create good music.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody needs to give it that thought, the inspiration, as they call it.
Yeah.
So you won't have a good writer in AI. It can write things for you, but it's going to just write things based on what information it already has. So if you want to create something new in creative thinking, then you still need those skills, and those are the jobs that are going to evolve more and will get developed more as we go into the future.
But I feel like at the same time, if those happen, it'll make people that do lose their job, because some jobs are replaceable,
Yeah.
right? The people that will lose their job to AIs and robots will have to have a rush, and then there'll be too many people trying to apply for prompt engineering, marketing, like that sort of stuff that can't be replaced yet. So it'll cause like a huge amount of people to rush into those aspects, leaving the other aspects to robots. But then it's going to be an oversupply of workers. So people will
Yeah.
lose their jobs.
So it's a transition that happens every time something new comes out, right?
Yeah.
When I was graduating in 2000, everybody was doing computer science, right? And now at this point in time, it seems like this is an oversaturated field because you won't need programmers in the future because AI can program, right? So, but now there are people who are going in data science and AI, and they're going in physics and quantum physics because you will need this new kind of technology to process more knowledge or more complex algorithms, right? So, so it's going to create new things, right? So yes, it's going to eliminate something, but not in entirety as well, right? So Microsoft has called very intelligently. They have called their Chat GPT product. They call it Copilot. So you know what a Copilot is, right? It's the pilot that sits with you as the Copilot, right? So,
Exactly.
So it's not taking over the pilot's job, but it's assisting the pilot to do whatever you're doing. So person like me, I do a lot of presentations, right? So I did a presentation about how AI is going to revolutionize the job market to an audience. It was mid of April, right? And the guy who was working with me, coordinating with me, asking me to come and give that in presentation was extremely concerned about the content. I was like, when are you going to get ready? I want to make sure that it's aligned and etc. And I was like, yeah, I got it. 20 plus years, I'll do it. I've done many presentations, but he was very concerned.
Yeah.
I was extremely easy about it because I did that work a day before.
Yeah.
And I put all those context into Copilot PowerPoint and Copilot for, Microsoft 365. I asked it, this is what my audience is. This is what I want to, deliver. And here are some things, big reports, 300-page reports from these big consulting firms that I think are going to be extremely helpful in developing this content. And, 3 hours, it did that for me, right? So I fine-tuned it to how I'm going to deliver. And then I delivered it. So that's how it's helping me in my job. Yeah. It's helping you guys, right? Yeah. You're not replacing the homework entirely with what ChatGPT is going to give you. You still have to provide it what you're going to do, what you want it to do, and then you have to review it before you submit it.
Yeah.
So it's helping you. It's not eliminating homework.
Exactly.
It's helping you in order to do it more efficiently.
Okay. So we have only 2 minutes left, so we should come to a conclusion. And also, I completely agree with you. I don't think it's gonna take over jobs completely. Maybe some, but more it'd be assisting people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you wanna do the conclusion or?
All right, I'll do the conclusion.
Good job.
Okay, so
very generous.
All right, so I feel, and well, based off of what we talked about.
Wait, we don't even need a conclusion. This isn't all right, you know what?
Yo.
Just go ahead.
Okay, so I feel that AI is helping us advance as a society, but it's also gonna come to a halt in the future of society, and it can be bad or good depending on the situation you use it in. So use it wisely, do your homework, don't get caught.
Okay.
All right. Left on Red.
Got it instead.
Left on Red, Guided Instead podcast is brought to you by Azwaja Matchmaking app.